All right. So welcome to Breakthrough Live Digital's strategy series. My name is Doyle Buehler, and I've got a cool guest who has actually been around a lot. He's well known in the live world, and with Be Live, we actually did this Be Live conference on Monday in celebration of the day, and Hani Mourra, is created a fascinating tool that helps creators of content actually help them distribute it and repurpose it. And as we talk about, that's one of the key strategies to being able to do that. And so I'm really looking forward to talking with Hani in just a moment. But first, just a quick overview. Like I said, welcome to the Digital Breakthrough Show. My name is Doyle Buehler, and I help leaders, explorers, and disruptors scale, grow, and transform their business and sales through digital leadership. And I'm the author of the book on digital strategy, The Digital Delusion. What real-world digital strategies will actually work for your business? Well, that's what I'm here to talk. And this show, I'm talking with Mourra, a creator and I guess the man behind the brains. The brains actually the creator of Repurposed.io. So welcome to the program, Hani.
Thanks, Doyle. Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, cool. So it's great to have you. So repurposing, that's your company, and that's kind of what you talk about. What does that actually mean?
Well, repurposing is taking a piece of content, whether it's an audio, video, live stream, and putting it on different platforms to get you maximum exposure. So you don't have to redo the episode, recreate anything. It's taking a single piece of content and getting it across different platforms.
Now, just sort of a bit of a background, rather. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Hani. Like, how did you come to develop this tool, and why did you see the need for it?
I've been creating software. I'm a dad. I call myself a softwarepreneur because I love creating software, using software as a tool to build tools for content creators. I myself am a blogger from way back in the day, video blogger.
Okay.
And so I was always involved in creating content, and then I got started into automation software about 4 years ago now. But my focus was getting content on your WordPress site. So if you're creating content, you want people to consume it on your site. That's kind of your home base. So I have automation tools for YouTube, podcasting, and Facebook Lives to get them automatically on your site. And then I thought, well, how do we get even beyond your site? How do we get reach on other platforms? And that's how the idea of Repurpose came about, is kind of almost complete that cycle, is taking the content. Podcasting and Facebook Live are my kind of two dominant platforms that I integrate with Repurpose. And the goal here is to get them out to YouTube, get them out to other Facebook groups, get them out soon to Twitter, get them on different platforms. So people who don't know what a podcast is or may not be listening watching you on Facebook can still consume your content later.
Yeah, and no, that's fascinating, and that's what I really want to get you on and talk about. And as a matter of course, we actually found out that we're both Canadians. Go Canada!
Small world.
Yeah, small world. Anyway, that's not to distract from the program. But so in terms of like the why here, like why do we want to do this? I know content is difficult. Why would I want to duplicate my content, kind of thing?
Well, people learn or people consume content in different ways. People prefer reading. Some people prefer watching. Some people prefer listening, just audio only. So having your content, your message out on different platforms, whether it's a podcast or on video on YouTube, just allows you to get your message out to those people who may not have discovered you if you're only on one platform. For example, if you're streaming on Facebook and that's your primary, but you don't have an audio version of your content, people who are not on Facebook may not be able to discover you, and vice versa. If you have only audio only content, people may not discover or may not know what a podcast is. But if they can find you on YouTube or they can find you on Facebook, consume some of your content, click through back to your site, learn more about you. That's how you get and grow your reach.
Yeah. And so should we be everywhere kind of thing, just in case somebody finds us or finds some of our content, or how does that work?
Yeah, I mean, the goal is to be everywhere, or at least to give the illusion that you're everywhere. So if somebody is surfing, delusion. no, but all kidding aside, like repetition is a great marketing tool, right? So if people see you over and over, to see your content on Facebook, they're doing Google searches and they see videos of you, not videos, your content in video format. Just the fact that you're on different platforms, gives the kind of the perspective that you're everywhere. But also, like I said earlier, if people don't hang out on one platform, they hang out more on YouTube. Your content is still there.
Yeah.
So if you're on audio only podcasts, especially audio podcasts, it's very difficult to get for people who don't know what podcasts are. It's difficult for them to go to iTunes and find you. But if you're on YouTube, on other platforms, they can learn about you and then eventually figure out how to connect with you via email or subscribe via iTunes itself or Google Play.
And is there a way to go like too far the other way? Like, can you ever have too much content? Can you ever have sort of too much stuff of yours out there?
My personal opinion, I say no. As long as the content is unique, like you're not having duplicate content on the same platform. Like if you're not having the same video, maybe you change things around, but you have the same video over and over and over again on YouTube. You probably don't want to do that. But the fact that the same content is across different platforms, I don't think there's such thing as too much.
Okay. So what is the risk though of having, like I've heard, from an SEO perspective that if you have the same content in different places, that's not a good thing. What are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts, I'm not an SEO expert. We've been repurposing content from podcasts, from videos to blog posts.
Yeah.
Never heard of anybody having this kind of issue. I think this more applies to like having a single blog post, like a piece of text that you take and then you put that on 4, 5, 6 different blogs, but it's really the same content. So I think that was kind of back then when people were just duplicating blog posts and making it appear on different sites and then doing cross-linking back to each other when cross-links was a strategy back a few years ago. So, having a video content versus an audio versus a Facebook video, those are not duplicate contents in my opinion, and I believe in Facebook's and YouTube's opinion as well.
So even if it's, say, the same video, is it okay to put it back on Facebook and up on YouTube and onto LinkedIn? Like, is that okay?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, these platforms, they want you to upload native content, like native videos on Facebook, and Twitter wants you to upload videos. Now LinkedIn wants you to upload videos. They want the content to live on their site. So as opposed to sharing links on these sites, they encourage you to put content on there. So.
Yeah, excellent. So can you walk us through then, Hani, in terms of how do you start? So let's say, how somebody who's making a Facebook Live, for example, what would they do and how would they kind of integrate the tool into getting their content out there?
For sure. I mean, forget about the tool for a second, just from a kind of a strategy perspective. Let's say you do Facebook Lives to connect with your audience or a Facebook group, or you're doing a regular show on Facebook Live. You would want to put your content in 2 places, a third place if possible. I say it's still a little more tricky. So definitely you want to get that same video on YouTube. You can download it yourself, or you can use repurpose.io to automatically publish it. But the idea is to put the copy on YouTube because it lives longer. YouTube is a search engine. Facebook is not a search engine. Facebook is great. You get a lot of connections, a lot of people. You show up in people's feeds, but you don't live there for very long. On YouTube, you have longer longevity, longer life. It's more searchable. So definitely have a copy of that video onto YouTube, title, description, same as you've done on Facebook. You can even take it one step further and do some SEO keyword tweaking on the YouTube video. Second place you want to put it is on your website. Like if you have a blog or if you have some kind of site, definitely put a copy on, embed the Facebook video on your website. They give you the embed code you can grab that from Facebook itself. But the idea being here is you want to have, especially if you have a content-based website or a blog, put it there. But people can get and connect with you. People who visit your site can have a chance to get on your email list. That's one advantage of putting the content on your own site is you have a chance to get people's email addresses, which is way more important than any other subscribe or follow, in my opinion. You can't collect email addresses on Facebook or on YouTube, but you can definitely do it on your own site.
Yeah,
and then it's easy to consume. If you have an email newsletter that goes out every few weeks, you can send people to your website and they can watch that video, that piece of content very easily without having to have a Facebook account or YouTube. It's just easier to send people to your home base.
Yeah. Okay. And so just a quick question in terms of once it's out there, like how often do you promote it, or how often should you promote it? How often should you share those links? Because I found that a lot of people kind of get scared because they've heard that, oh, well, if you have content that goes out, first off, people will get tired of it, seeing it again and again and again, kind of thing. And then there's the duplicate content that we talked about. But is there anything to be worried about in terms of how do we how do we actually how often can we promote the content before it becomes tired content, I guess?
I don't have, to be honest, I don't have a straight answer, but I would say queue it up into, I would say whatever your primary channel you feel is your primary channel, promote that. Like if you're doing a live on Facebook, promote that when you're about to go live, and maybe after you go live. And then get something scheduled in the tool like Buffer or Meet Edgar, one of these social media tools. Schedule the YouTube version to promote it, and schedule the blog post to get promoted. So you probably don't want to do kind of all in. You could. I'm trying to say, from me just thinking as a person who's following you, if I see it one platform, awesome. If I see it on multiple platforms all at the same time, it could be a turnoff. I don't know. Just my personal opinion, not backing up with any evidence here. But if you queue it up for, let's say, a week later or 2 weeks later or a few months later, there's these tools that let you cycle through content. Definitely want to queue it up. But I always recommend getting your blog post version, the version on your blog promoted, because that's the one where you can get an email address, where you can get people to subscribe to your podcast or follow you on Facebook. That's where more engagement happens.
Yeah, where it can be more effective.
More effective, yes.
Yeah, no, that's good. And I mean, I've kind of come from the school of thought that not everybody sees everything anyways, because there's so much coming through, that it is okay to kind of reuse that content, which I guess gets into, so Repurpose is really kind of helping you make that process a lot easier. Like you obviously you started with automation. Take us there.
Yeah, so Repurpose was designed for podcasters, people primarily audio podcasters, and live streamers. And take live streaming, for example. This show we're doing right now, you can recommend getting it on YouTube, and Repurpose can do that literally automatically. So once you set it up with our software, it's a software that you log into. There's nothing to download or anything. Once you set that up, you don't even need to log into our tool anymore. It knows every time you go live, within an hour or so, it'll grab a video and upload it to YouTube. You'll take the title, the description from your Facebook post, upload that to YouTube. You can have keyed in, preloaded some keywords for SEO purposes, and they will get transferred over to YouTube. So the idea is to automate, 100% automate that stuff for you. And if you don't want to automate it, you want to be a little more hands-on, you can always go in and select when you want to publish it, or if you want to tweak some parameters as well. So it works in full automation. It also works in in manual mode as well. But
does it do captions and that sort of thing?
It doesn't do the captions.
Or can you add captions after, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, right now, if Tinkered was grabbing the captions from Facebook and sending them off to YouTube as captions, it's not able to get that to work. But I'm sure that will come over time. But right now, it's designed to take the actual video file and send that over to YouTube for you. And even further, if you want to go on other channels like SoundCloud, for example, you want an audio version of your live stream, we can have an audio version sent to SoundCloud, which is an audio platform like YouTube. But also you can have it sent to your Dropbox or Google Drive, so that you can have a copy in an MP3 format that you can edit later and reuse as a podcast episode if you want to.
Yeah, that sounds like a cool tool.
From a podcasting perspective, I think it's a lot more exciting things you can do with it too. You can take audio podcasts and make these cool, not cool, I say cool, but they're dynamic videos with waveforms.
Right.
Push them automatically to YouTube and Facebook, which is very, very powerful. Right. You get a bigger reach of your audio content.
I think I've seen those where it kind of, plays your audio file, but it shows like a video.
Yeah. And it's fully automated. You don't even need to upload an image. You don't need to put a title. It takes all that information, creates this video, and it fires it off. And same thing, you can set it on autopilot. So you just publish your episode, and then within an hour, it shows up on YouTube and Facebook.
Yeah. Cool. So you can then, I mean, the ultimate goal here of this tool is so that you can focus on producing content,
yes,
right?
You nailed it. That's exactly it. Content is the king. Like people, I didn't make that phrase up. Content is king. It's true. Like your content, your message is the most important thing. It doesn't matter if it's the crappiest content, it's everywhere. No one's going to listen to it. Yeah. Focusing on that and letting tools or outsourcing, whatever way you want to do it, let people take care of that part for you so you can focus your energy on the content. That's a very good lesson. Yeah,
because again, a lot of people get so caught up in the technology that they kind of forget that they're there to tell their brand story. They're there to build their, awareness and authority and that sort of thing. So you get caught up in, I got to put this here and I got to put that there. And it's like, no, there's tools that do that.
Yeah, I mean, if you need like tools or outsourcing, it doesn't matter, but focus on content. That's the most important.
Yeah, that's smart content marketing. Maybe we can sort of take or make a new word out of that. Because really that comes down to how can you actually, you're not, and I mean the sort of the global person, you're not the tech person unless you are a tech company, of course, right? You need to be the content creator and you need to be able to do that. This is pretty cool. So what happens next in terms of what other automation are you guys looking at, to help the actual content producer produce content and get rid of the tech kind of thing?
Yeah. So what we have now is Facebook Live to YouTube, Facebook Live to audio, which can be either sent to SoundCloud, Dropbox, or Google Drive.
Yeah.
And we also have audio podcasts converted to videos to YouTube, Facebook, and the audio version on SoundCloud as well. But you can also have everything sent to Dropbox or Google Drive as well. So if you want to edit it later, or even upload it yourself to other platforms, maybe Vimeo or other video platforms potentially. But the thing that's important is like we're going to be adding more and more platforms. Like Twitter is coming next. Mm-hmm. One cool thing that's coming, hopefully this before the year is over, is people have asked to go Facebook Live right to audio podcast.
Facebook Live to audio podcast. Okay, so
we would take a Facebook Live, strip out the audio, add an intro, outro for you, and then send it off to your favorite podcast platform. Like let's say you're on Libsyn or you're on Spreaker or Blueberry. So that's the kind of progression that we're going, is kind of connecting platforms together and doing it for you. That's the key. We're not trying to invent a new platform. And one very important point, nothing we do affects your workflow. It's always designed to work after the fact. So you create your content, whether you're using BeLive or whatever tools to go live with, whatever tools to do your audio podcast, nothing changes. You keep doing what you're doing. Repurpose.io takes over after.
Yeah, it makes your job easier. We actually have one quick question from Michael. Any recommendations for getting started and getting ideas for quality content? I'd love your feedback here, Hani, in terms of where does somebody get started with content? Because that can be a big barrier to entry as well.
For sure. Go where you think your audience is. So let's say you have a big following, or not, I don't want to say big. You have a following on Twitter or Facebook. Kind of ask what the problems are. Ask what people are looking for. That's always the best way. If you have an email list, it's easy. You can send a survey. You can use Google Forms. Come up with like 2 or 3 questions. No more than 3 questions. It says, what's your biggest pain point? What do you wish you could automate? Or if you had my favorite question, if you had a magic wand, what would you do? If you were to wave a magic wand, what would you automate or what would you get rid of in your business?
I would order a pumpkin.
So it all depends on what your business is, what business you're in, but asking either your email followers via a very simple tool like a survey, like Google Forms, is awesome for that. Or I find Facebook groups. If you find a Facebook group that's in your niche, join the group, contribute to the group, and then just listen. Like just sit there and monitor what people are asking questions about, what people are asking and what people are struggling with. And then it gives you ideas for what kind of content to create. And the last place, if you have a blog, go in and see which ones are the most active blog posts and which one has the most visits. Sometimes you find like one or two articles really struck it with your audience really well, and then you can, based on the number of views on that page, you can decide, let's focus more on that type of content.
Yeah. But I guess if you're just getting started, you may not have that sort of leverage to go back and see what they're looking at.
Yeah, good point. Sorry, I missed that. I was going to say, do something you love. Like if something you're passionate about and you're good at, you're really good at, and start with that.
Yeah, and I think also going and listening too is very key. Like, yes, find your niche, which you said, or niche or niche, as some of us say as well, and ask the questions there. What are you looking for? What, why are you here? How can you answer those questions? And actually, another good tool that just came to mind is something like Quora.com. Michael, you might be able to take a look at that. And there's a lot of questions there, so you can quickly zero in on your industry, your products, your services, that sort of thing. And then people will tell you these are the questions that they get quite often, and you'll be able to pick those out. But some fantastic advice. So
definitely start with something, because you won't know, like, until you create some content, you won't know. Like, you might be started testing different concepts, and then once you kind of get a groove in one area, then you can double down and focus on it. And my other thing is just do one video per topic. Don't try to cover too much one topic, because just make short little videos, especially if you're just doing YouTube videos or Facebook videos. Just focus on, answer one question, dive deep into that one question, and then make your next episode or next video on a different topic.
Yeah, that's excellent advice. Cool. So I think that's all we had. Any sort of final words, Hani, in terms of some strategies that you like to use?
Definitely. The end game should be, wherever you're promoting your content or repurposing your content, end game is you want to draw people back to your website and draw people to your email list. So if you don't have an email opt-in form or in the sidebar or anywhere on your site, I would focus on hooking up an opt-in form with something like a MailChimp, which is free to get started.
Yeah.
Don't lose that step, because once someone comes to your site, they may leave and may never come back. So you want to have that email opt-in box and draw people back to your site.
Cool. So look at making sure that your infrastructure is in place, and then developing your content, and then automating it as well. Automating it. Yeah, but definitely before you start automating, get a way to capture that email address on your site. True, because you don't want to, and that's probably another, not a mistake, but, thing that happens as well, as people are so concerned about, I got to automate this, but yet they don't have that infrastructure in place, as simple as an email form or whatever. So they do miss that opportunity to connect later. So excellent. So some fantastic advice and tips and insights. Thank you so much, Hani, for your time. I really appreciate it. And for all the watchers, I'll be posting this on Facebook, Notes, and LinkedIn as well, where you'll be able to get the links, and I'll have to automatically link it with repurpose.io.
Cool.
All right. So cool. So thanks for watching. As part of my Digital Leadership Lives, Facebook Live events, there's 3 categories that I talk about: the state of digital, where I talk about specific ideas and insights happening right now, how they affect your business and what you can do about it. And then I have a digital leadership guest, where I interview an expert in the field, and had the amazing opportunity to talk with Hani Mourra today and discuss their strategies. And then on Fridays, we typically have the Digital Discovery Ask Your Marketing and Strategy Q&A, where I review tools and answer your questions and that sort of thing. So thanks again for watching. Please leave a comment, question, or even a happy face as well if you enjoyed this. Share it if you liked it as well. And thanks, and we will see you online.